At the age of 67, having lived through many seasons of life and experienced the changes that time brings, I find myself still feeling a quiet yearning inside, a longing not just for companionship, but for something deeper, richer, a spark that ignites the heart. Though the pages of my story include 2 chapters where love did not last, I am convinced that there is still a next chapter waiting for me, one that carries the promise of connection, joy, and mutual understanding. I often imagine this next partner, the woman that fate or perhaps a gentle hand beyond my understanding has prepared especially for me. I picture her with clarity and warmth, knowing that she will be more than just a companion. She will be a reflection of my own desires and a partner in the dance of life. In my vision, she is smart, intelligence dulls none of her charm. Rather, it enhances it, adding a sparkle to her every word and action. I believe intelligence is irresistibly attractive, a gift that sharpens both mind and soul. She will carry a beauty that is effortless, natural, and unapologetic beauty woven into every strand of her dark, glossy hair that falls in a river of silk past her shoulders, long and straight, untouched by anything artificial. She refuses to alter the gifts that life, or perhaps something more divine, has given her, holding with pride to her true self. Her eyebrows match this honesty, thick and dark, framing eyes that hold a universe of stories. Those eyes invite trust and innocence, yet hint at a lively spirit within, eyes that glimmer with curiosity and warmth, reflecting moments both tender and exciting. She wears no mask of makeup, preferring instead to let the simplicity of her natural glow speak for itself. This confidence in her own skin is magnetic, drawing me closer without effort. Her figure, slightly on the fuller side, conveys strength balanced with softness. There is a pleasing proportion to her silhouette, an organic harmony that speaks of health and vitality. Her shoulders carry the mark of someone who embraces life with their hands, a subtle proof of moments spent outdoors, tending the yard or perhaps working the earth with gentle determination. Even in these small details, I can see the depth of her character, someone who is unafraid of effort and resilience, yet remains thoroughly feminine. As I imagine her standing near the recliner, I sense an air of mutual anticipation. She is both observer and participant, fully embracing the moment with a quiet eagerness that matches my own. There is an unspoken conversation between us, a shared rhythm shaped by trust and layered with affection. This is no hurried encounter, but a unison of 2 rhythms hoping for harmony and joy. Even now, the images come alive in my mind, the softness of her skin, the delicate curves, the promise of warmth and closeness. Not just physical, but emotional and spiritual as well. In this vision, the simple act of being together becomes a symphony of shared presence, a sacred space where 2 souls meet without pretense or haste. I hold on to this thought as a quiet beacon, a hope that continues to light the way forward. No matter how many years have passed, no matter the paths I've walked before, the desire for meaningful companionship remains alive and well. It is this hope that fuels my imagination and keeps my heart open. This woman, my imagined partner, embodies values I cherish: honesty, intelligence, natural beauty, and an eagerness for genuine connection. She is not just a figure of attraction, but a person whose whole being invites partnership and shared joy. I look forward to the day when this vision becomes reality, when the quiet yearning in my heart finds its answer in the warmth of another's smile, in the shared laughter of 2 lives intertwined. Until then, I nurture this picture with care, grateful for the promise that life holds even after many years. She stands nearby, a quiet presence filled with anticipation, the moment hovering between us like a gentle current waiting to carry us forward. The soft light spills across the room, casting shadows that dance along the familiar contours of the recliner, hinting at the comfort and intimacy that this shared space represents. There is a delightful energy in the air, one that stirs deep inside a readiness for connection, for a journey taken together even if only in our minds and hearts. My hand drifts slowly from the armrest, moving with a steadiness born of years of knowing myself, of embracing the rhythms that have become second nature. This simple motion, so familiar and yet ever special, is like reaching for the controls of a much-loved aircraft, a joystick that guides me through this quiet flight of pleasure. Today's engagement is not a rush to an end, but a voyage to be savored, a leisure trip where every second counts and every sensation is a welcome guest. The warmth of my own hand as it wraps around this personal instrument is a comforting reminder of vitality and connection that transcends age. Even now, with the passing of many years, there's much to appreciate: the strength, the responsiveness, the subtle changes that life and time have woven into the tapestry of my being. As I begin the gentle, familiar motions, I imagine her watching with an eagerness that matches my own. In my mind's eye, she follows each movement with an intensity that feels almost tangible, as if she can sense the closeness bridging the distance between us. This shared vision is rich with unspoken communication, a private performance crafted with care and tenderness. The journey begins smoothly, like an airplane easing down the runway, the takeoff roll active and steady. The metaphor of flight feels fitting an ascent, a climb into heights where all distractions fall away and only the shared moment remains. The air is alive with tension and promise, and the undercurrent of excitement builds beneath the surface. The roar of engines, quiet to the world but vivid within, mirrors the pounding pulse of anticipation deep inside. As my pace increases slightly, a soft moan escapes me, a release of tension and a signal that the experience is unfolding as it should. Her imagined gaze widens, sparking with excitement, eyes locking onto the scene with a focus born from shared desire. She becomes fully present in this mental space, her own role a beautiful complement to mine. Watching and being watched, we create a circuit of energy and intimacy that charges the air between us. She stands confidently, her body an open invitation, curves and contours revealed and embraced. In this dance of attention and acceptance, we are both pilot and co-pilot, steering together through a landscape of sensation and feeling. The gentle rhythm grows, the subtle textures and pressures becoming increasingly vivid. I can almost feel her breath mingling with mine as we reach cruising altitude in this imagined flight. Autopilot takes over temporarily, but the connection remains intense and alive. My eyes half close, torn between admiring her natural beauty and tuning in to the waves of pleasure that pulse beneath the surface. Her form, unadorned and genuine, remains a constant source of fascination. The softness of her shoulders, the gentle curves that speak of health and life, the quiet strength beneath her calm exterior. Our breaths deepen in unison, a silent symphony that fills the room and the spaces between us. Each movement, each subtle shift, becomes a dialogue without words, a language of touch and feeling that transcends explanation. The imagined presence of her hands plays across her own form, tracing lines of pleasure and anticipation as we move together in this carefully choreographed experience. She smiles knowingly, caught in the joy of the moment, while I focus on the interplay of sensation, building steadily with practiced skill. This is not just an act of physicality, but one of mutual respect and affection, a celebration of connection that honors both the journey and the destination. As the flight continues, we find a comfortable rhythm, a balance between excitement and tenderness, control and surrender. The quiet intimacy of this shared imagination serves as a reminder that even in solitude, the spirit of companionship can flourish. Each carefully savored beat of this experience strengthens the bond between what is real and what is dreamed, filling the space with warmth and hope. The rhythm gradually intensifies, carrying us higher and higher into a realm where time seems to slow, and every sensation is amplified. My focus shifts between admiring the natural elegance of her form and tuning into the deep waves of feeling rising within myself. The steady motion of my hand, guided by years of familiarity, creates a pleasing friction, a subtle dance of touch and response that sends gentle pulses from my fingertips straight to the core of my being. There is a unique design to this experience, a blend of softness and firmness that only nature or perhaps something more profound could have orchestrated. Despite the strength and firmness beneath my grip, an outer layer moves with a smooth fluidity, gently sliding back and forth, creating a layered sensation that has become a source of unmatched pleasure. The subtle blend of resilience and tenderness sends tingles that travel up my nerves, touching every part of me with a quiet thrill. Breathing deepens involuntarily as the sensations grow, pulling me deeper into a state of focused attention. She, too, senses the rising tide within me, her own quiet moans mingling with the rhythm of the moment. Her eyes remain fixed intently, captivated by the expert movements of my hand, the steady, practiced motions that steer this shared flight of pleasure. Her own hands join the dance, lovingly cupping and exploring, lifting and playing with the curves that embody her confidence and vitality. There's a playful sparkle in her smile, a secret joy that comes just before the height of delight. Yet, both of us understand that the culmination is still on the horizon, a treasured moment to be awaited with patience and shared anticipation. To fill the space between us, she lowers one hand to gently explore the feelings growing within herself. Her eyes lock with mine in a candid exchange, a silent communication of mutual need and exquisite vulnerability. The tender glide of her finger is a mirror to the motions guiding me, underscored by a soft, guttural sound that speaks of pleasure and urgency. This simple act is as much an expression of trust as it is of desire, a reflection of our deepening connection. Suddenly, the feeling accelerates, the metaphorical afterburners ignite, and we surge upwards, faster and higher than before. Our breaths grow heavier, synchronized in their rising tempo, matching the passion building between us. My movements become more deliberate, more intense, the smooth rhythm giving way to a powerful, urgent pace that propels us toward a new altitude. With a playful glimmer in her eyes, she withdraws her touch and moves closer. Gently, she presses a finger to my lips, an invitation and a challenge wrapped into one delicate act. My senses sharpen. I savor the taste and the warmth as I draw that soft touch into my mouth, while still breathing heavily from the flight's momentum. The pressure mounts, and with a knowing smile, she pulls her finger away just as I'm about to lose breath. The momentary relief is sweet but brief, for she leans in closer still, offering more an offering that I recognize immediately. Her graceful motion brings one of her soft, warm curves within easy reach, a silent request that I respond to with tenderness. I trace gently with my tongue, teasing her with care and attention. The brief laughter that escapes her is like music, light and joyful, adding a bright note to the unfolding harmony. Then, just a little more forward, my mouth takes in what she offers with reverence and enthusiasm. The entire moment becomes a celebration of sensation and connection, a mutual exchange where pleasure draws us together in perfect rhythm. She stands firm and unreserved, close enough to feel every breath, every subtle movement, fully engaged in the shared joy of watching and being watched. We move together in quiet synchrony, each gesture a word in our silent conversation, her voice a low, smooth murmur commenting on the dance of motion and feeling, mine a steady reply infused with gratitude and desire. Our connection weaves a tapestry of trust and passion, a sanctuary of comfort and excitement mingled in perfect measure. With each rising wave, I reach deeper into the reservoir of experience and skill, readying myself for the moment when everything converges into a powerful crescendo. The journey is both familiar and new, a timeless dance between hearts and bodies that defies age and circumstance, guided by the simple joy of shared presence and attentive touch. In a playful and tender gesture, she extends a gentle finger toward my lips, inviting me into a sweet exchange that feels both intimate and lighthearted. Accepting this quiet offering, I respond by softly drawing the warmth and essence she shares into my mouth, savoring the subtle taste and the connection it brings. It is a delicate moment, much like a pilot steadying the controls amid the rush of forces, where breath and awareness blur into a mingling of sensation and affection. My eyes widen just slightly in surprise, caught between astonishment and delight as I navigate this unexpected but cherished contact. Recognizing the rhythm of our shared experience, she withdraws her finger just as quickly as she offered it, allowing me to regain steady breath and composure. The brief reprieve is marked by a smile that speaks volumes and invitation, a promise, a shared understanding that this moment is but one movement in our ongoing dance. Leaning forward with graceful intent, she gently lowers one of her soft, full curves toward my face, a playful offering that is both bold and tender. Without hesitation, I respond, tracing with my tongue the sensitive contours she presents, conveying care and admiration through every movement. Her soft giggles punctuate the air, light and joyous, lifting the mood and adding warmth to the connection growing between us. Encouraged, I delve deeper, embracing the delicate textures with reverence, drawing in the richness of the moment. She responds with a breathy exclamation, a mix of surprise and pleasure that fills the space between us with vibrant energy. At my subtle cue, I cease and open my mouth wide, signaling readiness for the next phase of our shared voyage. She straightens, repositioning to offer me room to focus, an unspoken partnership where timing and attention blend seamlessly. Meanwhile, my motions become more animated, a steady rhythm building as I continue this intimate exploration with renewed passion. She steps closer, positioning herself in plain view, fully aware and eager to witness the reveal unfolding before her. Our eyes meet with mutual understanding. She appreciates seeing my dedication, and I, in turn, cherish her appreciation of my attentiveness. Her voice, smooth and sultry, breaks the silence as she comments on the subtle movements she observes, noting with affection the careful dance of energy that courses through me. I respond with a quiet assurance, affirming the fullness of my focus and intent, a reassurance that echoes our shared anticipation. Her words express the depth of her own appreciation, how she delights in the tactile presence of our connection and the exchange of warmth and closeness it embodies. This affirmation hangs between us, a tender bond woven from spoken desire and unspoken trust. Knowing that the climax of our journey draws near, I prepare for the final moments with a combination of practiced skill and reverent care. One hand maintains its steady pace, guiding the steady flow of movement, while the other shifts to offer a gentler, more delicate touch, caressing the sensitive tip with a softness that contrasts the firmness beneath. There is a harmony in these dual motions, a balance of strength and tenderness that encapsulates the complexity and beauty of shared pleasure. She watches attentively, sensing the crescendo building within me, and with a coy softness she asks if I would like her to take the lead in bringing the journey to its peak. Between heavy breaths, I murmur my consent, an eager acceptance of the gift she offers. Her lithe form bends with grace over the side of the recliner, reaching toward me with hands that have guided and supported. As she takes control, I release my grip and shift my focus to the warmth and elegance of her presence. One hand drifts from its perch, traveling upward from her calf to trace the curves of her full thigh, feeling the softness and strength that define her. My other hand finds its way to her shoulders and upper arms, caressing with gentle pressure, rolling over contours that glow with vitality. Fingers and palms explore with reverence, rolling and teasing the delicate nubs that eagerly respond beneath my touch. Together we move as on a duet, where each note and gesture is carefully tended, where mastery and affection intertwine seamlessly. She expertly takes over the rhythm, her hands skillfully guiding each movement with a practiced finesse that inspires delight and admiration. One hand cradles with care while the other supports and encourages, creating a symphony of motion that lifts the experience to its highest expression. She meets my gaze often, eyes shining with focused intensity and shared joy, like a violinist pouring soul into a masterpiece. Then, with a voice both gentle and commanding, she asks a question that draws us closer still, whether I want to share the final moment in her hand. My whole being responds with a shiver of anticipation and eagerness. As her hands continue their orchestrated dance, one journeys up her thigh to firmly but tenderly grasp her waist, a silent signal of closeness and readiness. The playful teasing of curves follows, fingers flicking and swaying, while the other hand momentarily relaxes, resting lightly on the armrest. My grip tightens and pulses with renewed energy, mirroring the rising crescendo inside. The countdown is brief. Soon, she presses gently but firmly against a sensitive point, offering an added pulse that sends ripples through my core. The result is a warm cascade of release, a joyous affirmation that culminates our shared voyage. She giggles with delight, savoring the triumphant moment as much as I do, and we both bask in the soft afterglow. My body relaxes, sinking comfortably into the recliner while she makes a tender show of collecting the remnants of our connection with playful licks and caresses. Her gaze remains locked with mine, deep, warm, and infinitely satisfying. In the quiet aftermath, I smile softly and offer a familiar phrase about kindness and reciprocity that has always felt true. With a gentle grace, she moves closer, straddling an armrest to invite a new closeness and offering comfort and warmth that allays every worry. Our fingers entwine and we slip easily into a peaceful rhythm, exploring with gentle touches and shared affection. The lines between giver and receiver blur in the harmony of the moment, each movement a mutual expression of care and closeness. Together, we settle into a comfortable cadence, one that nurtures and rewards, wrapping us in a cocoon of tender trust. The delicate balance of sensation and emotion carries us onward, through waves of bliss and calm, until finally, with a quiet crescendo, she reaches a place of deep release and joy. Her soft cries fill the air, a testament to the closeness we have cultivated. The warmth she shares is a precious gift that I cherish, and I respond by honoring every drop, every trace, with affection and care. Our breaths mingle in the stillness that follows. Her presence leans into mine, a tender embrace that speaks of safety and belonging. The quiet invitation to rest together is welcomed with gentle gratitude as we drift into peaceful slumber, wrapped in the glow of shared affection and the comfort of loving arms. As the waves of pleasure gently begin to ebb, a calm settles over us, wrapping the space in warmth and quiet contentment. My hands continue to explore softly, their movements slowing from the energetic rhythm that marked the peak of our shared journey to a more tender, lingering touch. One hand trails downward, tracing the smooth curve of her calf, moving upward with a light caress to the fullness of her thigh, savoring every inch as though reading a familiar, cherished poem written in flesh and warmth. My other hand finds its way to her shoulders and arms, where the softness meets strength, fingers rolling over skin that still hums with afterglow. Sitting close, I feel the steady rise and fall of her breath, matching the gentle rhythm of my own as we settle into this quiet closeness. Her eyes meet mine, shining with a depth of trust and affection that transcends words, an unspoken gratitude for the shared experience, for the vulnerability that brought us together in this intimate space. She nestles into the crook of my arm, her body fitting perfectly against mine, the soft curves aligning in a natural embrace. Here, in this moment, the world outside ceases to exist, and the only reality is the warmth between us, the unspoken promise of companionship and care. With a gentle smile, I whisper an offer to postpone the practicalities of the day, a suggestion of showers and refreshment to come later, allowing us to linger in the sanctuary we've created. Her response is a quiet nod, a subtle invitation to remain wrapped in each other's arms for a while longer. We drift together, bodies relaxed and hearts aligned, the gentle pulse of shared breathing a lullaby that carries us toward a peaceful rest. Time becomes a soft, malleable thing, unpressured and generous. In the stillness, I savor the simple joy of her presence, the warmth of her skin, the softness of her hair against my chest, the steady beat of her heart in tune with my own. It is a reminder of the deep comfort found in human connection, of the profound renewal that can come from a touch that speaks of belonging, acceptance, and love. Our hands remain entwined, fingers loosely interlaced, a silent testament to the bond we've strengthened. Occasionally, a gentle squeeze or a tender stroke punctuates the stillness, reaffirming the mutual support and affection that underlies everything. In this quiet embrace, there is healing not just of bodies, but of hearts and souls. The past, with all its joys and sorrows, feels softened by the gentle present. The future, though uncertain, is brightened by the prospect of shared moments yet to come. As the minutes stretch on, I feel a growing sense of gratitude for this experience, both in its imagined form and in the real possibility of finding such connection again. The memory of our closeness lingers like a warm glow, a light to guide me through days ahead. Together we drift off, comforted not just by the presence of each other's bodies, but by the deeper knowing that care and tenderness can bridge any distance or time. In that peaceful slumber, wrapped safely in arms that hold and hearts that listen, there is a quiet celebration of life's gentle joys, those moments of softness that remind us why we keep hoping, keep loving, keep seeking connection. And as sleep carries us beyond the boundaries of thought, the promise of tomorrow holds gently in the background, waiting to be embraced with open arms and open hearts once again.